of international capacity building, having trained more than 200,000 officials from 160 countries in both civilian and defense sector. I'm happy to see a strong network of ITEC alumni sitting here, gathered here today to share their testimonies and encourage their colleagues and counterparts to participate and get benefit out of this ITEC program. Now I would like to invite High Commissioner, His Excellency, to give his opening remarks.
Thank you, Renuka. Ambassador Janice Miller. She is my boss, you are my boss. Ambassador to CARICOM also, she wears so many hats. Thank you for joining us this evening. I would also like to mention and welcome all of you, ITEC alumni. Out of many, it's not one people, many. All of you have come in here. We have more than 200 to 300 ITEC alumni in Jamaica alone. But we have this evening around 50 confirmation or nearly 60 confirmation. Other friends will be joining in. We'd like to welcome all of you to this wonderful celebration of ITEC Day. Renuka said it is 59, but if it is 1964, are we celebrating the 60th celebration? Oh yes, so it's a very special occasion for us. It's not just celebration of or the gathering of the alumni together here. It also reflects the commitment and the values of India as a nation. It was in 1964, I don't have to repeat whatever is there, all of you know, you are ITEC alumni. So when you had gone to India, you would have been told about what ITEC is all about, but just not repeating on the facts, but also just to bring out what the values of India is, as we are making all efforts to let everyone know that we have principles and values that emanates not from the only Constitution of India, but the values that we have in Constitution of India itself is a value that is derived from the 6,000 years of India's civilization, and that has a deeply rooted Indian societal values which percolates into our constitutional articles or the frameworks that is presently guiding us and guiding the nation through these times. If you see India in 1964 or even before that, or when you see through the write-ups on the ITEC, we have been, even as early as 1949, we have been, India as a nation has been reaching out to our friendly countries or our partners and giving them scholarship as early as 1949. What does it say? We didn't do it because we have it. India inherited from our colonial masters one of the poorest economy. We were in shatters, we were in debtors economically, society completely broken. We built up everything from the scratch. But even at that stage, as I go back to our ancient and values of Indian societal values, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is to say that the world is one family. When we become independent, that values emanates from us. If you see the tagline or the theme for our G20 summit, it is one earth, one family, one future. And that's how we want to project ourselves as India, just to earn accolades from our friends, but it's genuinely from our hearts. People have questioned, what do you get out of this? You give trainings, you give capacity building. Everyone knows what India is, our capacity is, how much resources that we have. But seeing that and comparing with more endowed and much richer nations, what do you get out of this program that you are giving out to your partner countries? I say it cannot be just something that is genuinely, it's altruistic. But partly it is altruistic in the sense, as I have gone back to the ancient philosophy and societal philosophy, that we believe that world as one family, that we share, that we have, that's what we are. And at this moment, as we gather together, we are here to just share the experiences, as all of you have gone, not just for one course, but diverse courses. As mentioned, we have 47 institutions that imparts more than 280 training courses across India. And you are part of one of those training. It will be back, it's just testing our patience. See, I told you. I was told it in the church, one priest was preaching, and he wanted to show that in the beginning there was light, and it was dark. People were wondering what he's going to do. And he said, in the beginning there was light, and he went to off, and there was electricity off. At least the light came back immediately. So I was saying that this is a platform to share experiences and just to know each other, that so many people have gone, you also don't know each other, that you have been a beneficiary of this training program. I won't say beneficiary, but just the part of this partnership. It is actually bilateral, India and Jamaica, India and South Africa, India and Tanzania, or India and Guyana, but also is India, CARICOM, India, ASEAN. We have come to incorporate even the regional groupings also, so that's how it is. I won't say much, but just would like to show this little 8-minute screening that will speak more on, rather than me speaking here. Also to mention, among the young people here, we have some people, unique people, whom I have invited consciously and deliberately, just to showcase that the ITEC has not just started today. We have our friend and a strong supporter, consistent and close to us, Dr. Winston Tolan. He went to India in 1977. Most of you would not have been born. No? And he did his medical under ICCI scholarship. We were supposed to have another from JDF, retired, Dr. Hugh Black. He went for IMA course, Indian Military Training in Dehradun, where currently there are 2 JDF, 2 officers are there. And he went in 1979, and he graduated in 1980, and hopefully he will join us this evening, but they are not here. But just enjoy this small video and enjoy the evening. Thank you. We can come back to this. Meanwhile, I think we should go ahead with our program. We can start with Dr. Tolan. Just limit yourself to 3 minutes because we have 6 or 7 of our alumni who are very happy to share their experiences. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Babu Rako.
All right. I went to India in 1977. Probably the second person on the Indian Council for Cultural Relations Scholarship as a recipient of the ICCR scholarship to do medicine. What experiences I had in 77, 47 years ago is far different from what all of you had. Spent over 5 years there. Never had cell phone, never had phone calls, never had came back to Jamaica in that period. But I must say a big thank you to the government of India, to the people of India, for all they did to make my stay very exciting. Medicine was what I did, and I won't delve into that much. But my experiences could take all evening. I had really great experience. I went to India and I saw this whole heap of water. When I was landing in Delhi, it was not built up like now. Then I took a country bus like what you have nowadays, to go to Jaipur, where I studied my medicine. Eventually I ended up being a part of what they call the fourth class servants. In Jamaica you play with everybody. I ended up on a football field with fourth class servants playing football. Even before college started, went on for quite a bit of time. I have had experience of sleeping on the train floor. I've had experience of traveling like for 3 days on a train. I've even gone to India and won 2 competitions, singing competition, Hindi competition, consecutively. I never spoke Hindi, but then I had good classmates. I enjoyed Indian culture, Indian music. I'm part of what is called Indian Talent on Parade. But I must say that one of the most important things when you travel to a country is to try to adapt. You become adaptable to what is available to you around you. Don't try to be different from the people around you. And that is where I think I did my best. I was part of the Hindus. I actually even brought Janmashtami to my hostel. And Janmashtami is a festival celebrating Lord Krishna's birth. I was part of the Muslim football team. I played for the college, I played for the university, etc. And I was also, one of my best friends was the Father Superior for the Catholic Church for North India. So we used to sit down and have a drink every now and then. But we did quite a bit of work in terms of social work. I visited all of India. Those are the 2 capitals I did not see when I left India. So I must say that my experience those days was probably far different from what you see, what you had in your couple months you probably went there for. When I went, paid my fare, then I got the scholarship, the tuition was paid, and I got 400 rupees a month. I don't know what you get nowadays. But it was a great experience. I won't take up much time because I think it's in there. A lot of speakers are here. It was a wonderful experience. I could write a book. And I must say thank you very much to the Indian government, the people of India. And hopefully one day we can all sit down and even talk more about the experience itself. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Dr. Tolan, for sharing your experiences, and it was a really engaging one. Thank you so much. I would now like to invite Ms. Peter Gay Price, formerly of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, to give a testimony. Thank you.
His Excellency Masako Ramsong, Ambassador Janice Miller, my fellow alumni, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my pleasure to share my experience with you, having participated in the Indian Technical and Economic course, ITEC, on international training on labor relations, employment in the global economy, which was held at the V.V. Giri Labor Institute in Noida, India, in November 2012. I was employed to the Ministry of Health and Wellness at the time and deployed to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security as the program manager, the workplace program manager in the Occupational Safety and Health Department. Big mouthful. And at the time, whilst my primary responsibility was to focus on HIV in the world of work and the government's national response to HIV and the workplace, I was also placed on several committees to ensure that the government of Jamaica's national response to its many conventions with the international labor organizations were adhered to and were providing its overall mandate of decent work. And whilst I was able to read the documents that were provided and understand the job description, there are many things that I did not know and that were lacking. And I came upon the program, the ITEC program, and I quickly applied. And when I made application, I was 3 days before the deadline. And I will say thank you to the governments of India and Jamaica for affording me this opportunity to be able to take advantage of what I consider a training and an experience of a lifetime. The program not only focused on the theoretical aspects of labor relations and what are the requirements on an international scale, it also twinned a practical experience and a cultural experience together. And we were able to not only indulge in the rich culture of India, but also to share our many cultures, as the participants in the program were from each of the continents. And I was able to apply my understanding and my role at the ministry to the program and to be able to strengthen the experiences and the exchanges with my classmates. On my return, I was able to use the knowledge to strengthen my role and my responsibilities and to make informed decisions and guide the members of the committee, not just from a point of what my heart told me we should do, but from an educated point, from the lessons I would have learned in India. I continued, having left the program, to interact with the many lecturers and some of my classmates, strengthening my network and honing my skills in labor relations. I'm no longer with the ministry, unfortunately. However, I provide support on labor relation programs, and I am a consultant where I am able to apply many of the experiences and the knowledge gained from this wonderful program. Today I own my own business in logistics and supply chain management, and the lessons learned remain with me 11 years later, where I'm able to apply them to my daily life. Additionally, I'm an assistant governor for the Rotary International District 7020, and understanding labor relations and understanding the requirements of the decent work agenda has been able to help me to better understand what Rotary International requires of us to do good in the world and to impact people's lives and make a difference. This was an experience of a lifetime, and it continues to impact me and the people I supervise, both in my workspace and in the Rotary arena. I would hasten to say to anyone, if given the opportunity to participate in any of the programs under the ITEC initiative, they should, without a doubt, accept it with grace, dive into it, and embrace everything that the program has to offer. Again, I express my gratitude for the opportunity and the engagement from the High Commission of India, and I remain forever in your service, and I look forward to greater bonds and strengthening greater ties for the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Price, for your encouraging words. Thanks a lot. I would now like to invite Mr. Leslie Harrow, Director at Institute of Jamaica, to share his experiences.
His Excellency, Ambassador, ladies and gentlemen, fellow alumni, as previously mentioned by my alumni. Indeed, it is my pleasure to be here this evening just to tell you a little of my experience. I wanted not to provide myself with a script because I have a tendency of going long with scripts. So I just want to say that my experience would have been last year in November when I saw an invitation for persons in the electoral field. At the time I was the zonal manager at the electoral office. And so the course was about the political parties and electoral management bodies. And it focuses on the role of election management bodies in the Commonwealth, and which can be applied worldwide. Most importantly, I must say to you that the support and the encouragement I received from the High Commissioner's office, particularly Mrs. Renuka Prasad, she helped me throughout the process. Even when I thought it was difficult for me, she made it easy. And as of such, I think I continue to be the support for her in terms of providing information to make it easier for others. And so I want to thank you for the staff and the staff here for your understanding of how one needs to be prepared to another culture. And because learning is universal. And so the diversity, the experience, I met people from across the world. Today we still maintain a WhatsApp group at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And you know why? Time zones. And we continue to speak on happy birthday, what is happening on that side and what is happening on the other side. What is important though is that you are able to develop on your personal and professional skills. It allows you to recognize that when you are at another place, you need to understand that you need to be prepared for a new culture. It was a very good experience. The culture is great. I am a man who loves curry. So I enjoyed my curry. I enjoyed fun. I must tell you the facilities, the hospitalities, the faculty, the people were very supportive and encouraging. We never had a problem. I love New Delhi. I have photographs all over the place. If you go to my Facebook, you see that I went to Taj Mahal. And so, for me, the long flight, I want to have it again. So I am now in culture, and I'm also in sport. And I'm seeking to find a way of how do I find myself into another course. And so, madam, if my age permits me, I am ready to go. So I want to thank you very much, and I want to tell you, it is an experience you want to have for those who have not gone. But if you have gone, sure you want to go back. So I want to encourage you, Ambassador, encourage you, Monica, to continue being support for us, because we need it. All expense paid trip. Everything. And I got rupees. If it wasn't hot, I would have worn my sweatsuit I bought from India. But yes, that is what I took from the experience. So it's not just about learning, it's an experience for life. And so I encourage you all, if you have not yet gone, and if there are other persons out there, because these courses are free. Once it's free, give it to me now. I am ready. It doesn't matter what it is. I will go on the floor. I will study late at night. As long as it's free, give it to me. So I want to thank you very much, and I want to encourage you to invite others. Today I know I invite some of my staff members, they are here, and some very good friends. And I'm looking forward to see if we can get you on some courses. So the Institute of Jamaica look forward to continuous partnership as well as the Sports Development Foundation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Harrow. That was so very kind of you. And you have been monumental in doing, we had celebrated Indian Diaspora Day in the month of March. And he was so kind to us. He helped us in all the way possible. So thank you so much. We sent you to India, and you are doing all this in return. Thank you so much. I would now like to invite Ms. Monique Francis, officer from Jamaica Defence Force, to share her experiences.
His Excellency Masuka Runsong, Ambassador, fellow alumni, and the High Commission family, good evening. I am Lieutenant Monique Francis from the Jamaica Defence Force. I represented the JDF in India of January this year. I was in Noida, I was in Uttar Pradesh. I completed the Unleashing the DNA Leadership in Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises at the Jaipura Institute of Management. I must say, the course was a refreshing perspective of leadership. It focused on an adult learning environment and how to effectively cause people to want to follow you. And you must imagine how important that is being in the military. I was accommodated at a business hotel in Noida. It was a lovely staff. The hotel was wonderful. The school staff, they were very patient and they understood the cultural barriers. I had a wonderful group of students from 19 different countries, and we still keep in touch in our WhatsApp group. We were brought to many places by our staff. We went to Taj Mahal, we went to many temples. We learned so much about Mr. Bhagwan Swaminara, can't forget him. we went to the Suzuki factory. We saw how they operated, and that was a very refreshing experience for me to see how cars are made from the scratch and how they're simply driven out of the factory and how the supervisors effectively manage their areas. I was also in India for Republic Day, and it was a wonderful experience. And we crashed a few mehendi parties, what we may call bridal showers or henna parties. So my group and I, we enjoyed late evening tuk-tuk rides. I don't know if anybody else to DLF Mall. And my friend Lieutenant Ranger here, he took me on train rides to Atta Market and Brahmaputra Market. And it was just a lovely experience. We were all over the place. We made use of the little time that we had there. My main takeaway from the course was how important listening is. Listening to my subordinates as a leader in the JDF is very important because they are the men on the ground, they are the men in the field. I am the one in the office, behind the computers, making decisions, but they are the ones experiencing the real life things. And I have a huge responsibility of taking care of my soldiers and to ensure that they're properly developed. So I encourage you to let your relatives, your friends, your co-workers know about this program and to take advantage of it. It is a wonderful cultural and educational exchange. Thank you, HE and Ambassador and Renuka. Renuka, seriously. I thank you for keeping the program alive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Francis. I hope listening to her, everyone here who has not been to India would definitely want to go there next month if they get an opportunity. Look forward to it. Look for the IT course, ITEC course that it's there in the website. There are so many courses. If you have not been to India, if you are going on a course, please apply today. I would now like to invite Mr. Melvin Pennant. He is the Senior Program Editor at Public Broadcasting Corporation of Jamaica. I would like to invite him to share his experience.
Devaya R. Sajano Shub Sandia. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. His Excellency, I do hope I got the language right. The Indian Technical and Economical Commerce, ITEC, has for many years been an incubator for numerous international personnel to garner knowledge about technology and culture. In my experience as a Jamaican, community is the building block for both the betterment of an individual and a society. India proved no different. The warm hospitality shown to me and my visit aided me in understanding the continued support of the program. A country founded on togetherness showcases their fortitude in years of advancement, where teamwork truly encapsulates making the dream work. ITEC was someone's dream, and to me, a recipient, the opportunity was like my own dream come true. The course, The Art of Communication, Unleashing the Effective Communicator Within You, was pivotal in my growth as a media practitioner. And it is evident that I am standing here giving a speech. I am quite comfortable in front of a crowd in others here because I do music. So having a mic in my hand and a beat in the background, but good. But speaking to esteemed guests like you was never part of my thing. As all good communicators know, when it's time to close and end on a high note, I bid you adieu, or you as you say in India, namaste. No, they're ended. But I just want to also commend Renuka for, I don't know, this lady, she operates on twin turbo. Yes. For those who understand motoring. She's always there when you call. I had some serious challenges, and Renuka and my boss, Ms. Francis, worked behind the clock to ensure that everything was, leveled out and so on. And the team that hosted me at Amity University, oh man, they were par excellent. And I am grateful to the Indian government, I'm grateful to you, Ambassador, for such an opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And one little touch. Please, it's not tuk-tuk, it's auto rickshaw.
Thank you, Mr. Pennant, for being so observant, and you corrected them. Thank you. I would now like to invite Mr. Andrew Smith, Regional Manager at Electoral Office of Jamaica, to share his experience.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. The pleasure is mine to be here this evening just to share a few thoughts of my experience in India. Of course, I consider it a pleasure and an honor to be given this privilege to have been in India. My course was actually an election administration. And of course, it was done at the IIEM. Now, and that was actually in New Delhi. New Delhi, a lovely place. I loved it there. Wonderful. Of course, we had a total of 21 participants from 14 countries. It was like a melting pot. It was an excellent opportunity. It's a once-in-a-life experience that we had together. Of course, the country itself, unfortunately, time would not permit, So we didn't get a chance to go all around as we'd like to. But of course, I too can speak to Tuk Tuk. That name I don't know, I know Tuk Tuk. And of course, we were all over the place, and of course, in a matter of days, we learned how to use the train system. A couple of us, we learned the system, and we went all over, and that was just wonderful. The course itself was very beneficial because it really broadened my horizon to the point where even some of what I took away from the course, some of those things will actually be employed in our upcoming local government election, which is constitutionally due by February of next year. So it has really made its mark personally on me. And of course, I should mention Susan Cox, but she's not here today, because she also was with me, and of course she found it beneficial as well. In terms of other visitation, yes, we went to the Taj Mahal as well, and of course that was wonderful. Of course, I am somebody who loves television. I love television and I love radio. So I use the opportunity in my quiet time, in the evenings, just to sort of, just to get a better understanding of the country and the politics and so on, which I found quite intriguing. So, of course, I watch certain programs that deal with the parliament and so on, and sort of get a better understanding of how your parliament works. Of course, that is different from what we have here in Jamaica. And I really acknowledge the fact that, one, that India is the biggest democracy in the world, which many people don't know. They tend to figure it's elsewhere, right? India is the biggest democracy in the world, the largest population in the world. And I must tell you, I'm really impressed with your Prime Minister. I think he's a diplomat. I think he's going places. He actually moves around and he makes overtures, and he's an excellent negotiator. I found the time in India to be very beneficial, as I mentioned before, and I too want to join in to say that, Renuka, you have been a tower of strength to us. You have made a world of difference, you know, just facilitate us from here to get it there and back. How could I forget? The facilitators, spot on, excellent. I mean, majority, maybe 90% of them, they are PhDs. And not only that, but just the way how they deliver the information. It was wonderful. And they were very patient. They understand andragogy, you know, adult learning, so they know how to relate to us. And as a result of that, I think us who were there, we are better off having been there. I want to say on behalf of the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, a big thank you to the Indian government, and of course we look forward to forging even greater and deeper partnership with your country. You have been very kind, not just to Jamaica, but all across the world. And we really want to see you go places and really continue to do what you're doing, because you're doing a good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, for your encouraging words. And I want to mention one thing here. They all took my name. It's just not me. It's a teamwork. There are people behind me. There is Counselor who is working on it. There is a team which books the ticket. So it's just not me. Yes, I'm in the front, but there are people behind me, and it's a teamwork. And thanks to everyone from my team. And now I would like to call Dr. Hugh Blake, one of the early cadets from the Jamaica Defence Force, who went to India on the Military Officers Training Program at Indian Military Academy in the year 1979. He is now the CEO and Trade Administrator at the Trade Board Limited. I would like to invite him to share his experiences.
Thank you so much. His Excellency, other members of the
Indian High Commission in Jamaica. I heard graduates, fellow graduates, where I know I'm kind of dated, so ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to be here to share with you some of my experiences in India in early days. When His Excellency asked me to come and share with you, I was a little bit, I didn't know where to start actually, because I don't know how long you all spent in India, but I went there on 2 separate occasions, totaling 2 years of my life I spent in India. And my experiences are very varied, quite a tremendous amount of experience. I know India all the way from Dehradun to Goa in the south, and also across India. So I wondered where to start, and if you just bear with me, I have to give you a little bit of the background. I think I will start where, it was a very cold and bleaky afternoon when the JDF lorry that I was driving in, the back of the lorry, stopped in Newcastle. And 5 potential officers of the JDF came out of the vehicle. And one of the potential officers, I won't call his name, cleared his throat and spat on the drill square, which really in the army we call holy ground. That is something that you just don't do. And of course the depot, what do you call it, training sergeant major, the training sergeant major, saw, in a very thunderous voice, very angry, said, "Wipe that up." And I think that blue rag that you're wearing is quite suitable. We were all in civilian clothes at the time. So of course, that was the beginning of my sojourn in the army. But I like to just sort of fast forward a bit. 6 months later, after training, doing some training in the JDF, the basic recruit training and so on, I was told that I'd be heading to India to do my initial officers training course. I said to myself, wow, India! I mean, certainly just wasn't in my imagination. But I'm a sort of an adventurous person. And so I was instantly excited. Wow, a chance to see India. I know that people go to the UK all the time and to the USA and all that. That's common. But to go to India, that was really special. But it was all made possible by ITEC, the Indian Technical and Economic Corporation. At the time I didn't know, but I am thankful to that organization for that opportunity. All right, so I want to accelerate this a bit. So it's now July 1979. And I am a gentleman cadet in the Indian Military Academy. So they call you GC Blake. That's my title. And the GC is Gentleman Cadet. And I mean, I'm immaculately dressed in my uniform, looking quite sharp. And I remember a very tall Sikh, Captain Seiko, came up to me, looked me in the eye and said, "You look like Muhammad Ali. You're going to box
for your company. Well, honestly, I wasn't amused because the thought of boxing just freaked me out. But you know what? I had to box, and I learned to face my opponent and trade painful blows, be crafty, and I won a few boxing bouts. Well, shortly after that, at the end of the boxing competition, I became a bit of a hero because I was now the light middleweight champion of my battalion, which was the Manning Shaw Battalion. But little did I know that sort of badge meant that I would have to box in a higher level, where the guys were real professional. Now you're boxing for the battalion, And I did my thing. I'm proud to say that I was very successful at coming second in every boxing match I had. I made some notes, but I'm just going to kind of glance through them. Then I recall Khalid Ekdal. I don't know how many of you pick up what I just said. Did I say it correctly? It's a military drill command. Like in Jamaica when we march, we say halt. They say Tam Khalid Ekdo, and you put a lot of energy in it, and you bring your legs down, and whatever. So this is now the end of the first 6 weeks in the Indian Military Academy. And they have a 6 weeks drill test. Now it's a very fair test, and it meant that, it's one of those things that you really want to pass, right? Because if you're successful, you get a thing they call liberty. Liberty is they give you a pass to go out into the town of Diradon and mess around a bit and so on, and liberty, right? Now, I was one of only 2 cadets in the entire intake who passed that test after 6 weeks. And so I was allowed to go out in the town and enjoy liberty. And the other the other persons was a friend of mine, Mukul Dabai. Mukul was up to a lot of tricks. I mean, I said, boy, let me level with you. One of the things about the liberty is that when you go out in what you call your muftis. You're properly attired, the gentleman cadet, and went out into the town of Diradon, and of course my eyes were bulging because the ladies were really looking good. Really, really looking good. And Mukul, my friend, was teaching me a bit of Hindi, how to approach a woman and talk to her. Well, I don't want to get into the details of it, but I have to tell you that I had to be rescued by the adjutants of the academy from the police station in Diradon. And I kid you not, it's a fact. They had to come for me and rescue me because what he was telling me to say in Hindi, I could not repeat it here. Maybe on the sidebar, we're having a drink one day. Only the men, I will tell you what I was actually saying.
They're serving a drink here.
Maybe, you know. Right, so at the end, we have 3 semesters, right? And at the end of my first semester, again, I was privileged. I was one of 2 overseas cadets selected to go and view the India Day Parade, which was wonderful. And to cap it all off, I had an invitation to attend tea with the Prime Minister of India, who at the time was Indira Gandhi, and at her house. So I went and we had a nice conversation. I remember telling her she reminded me so much of my own mother, and which was true. And I remember she saying to me, I mean, why does Jamaica, such a beautiful little island, need an army? And of course, that floored me. I was forging through to find a logical answer. But the Indian Military Academy is an elite officer training institution of Indian Army. Its primary purpose is to train and groom young officers to become leaders in the military. The training was rigorous, comprehensive, and focused on a number of areas: physical fitness, academics, military skills, tactics, weaponry, and the whole gamut of disciplines that is acquired by the military. Overall, I have to tell you, the training gave me the opportunity to develop the qualities of leadership, integrity, and discipline, and learn structure that I think serves me very well. It taught me resilience, teamwork, problem-solving skills, and above all, the institution instilled in me a very highly developed sense of integrity. And one of the things I tell you in that Indian Army, integrity is paramount, and that is invaluable. And those are some of the qualities and the disciplines that I have used in my own life to succeed. It's just an amazing, it was just an amazing experience, right? In addition to the formal training in the academy and so on, just the opportunity to visit such a vastly different country, a different culture, and to tour and explore. I was just 19, by the way. I was a young boy, 19. I don't look it now, you can't imagine it. But I was just 19, and very impressionable, a young mind. It just that exposure really is invaluable at that young age. I'm getting a wrap-up signal, so I'll skip through. I would like to thank the organizers of this ITEC Day, for giving me the opportunity to share briefly with you some of my experiences and the opportunity to develop and so on that I had in India. Thank you very much. The truth is, I could talk for 2 days telling you endless stories, but I have to respect time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I thought I would just give a very pleasant surprises to our young ITEC alumni. Just before you, Dr. Blake, we have Dr. Dolan talking to us. He was in India in 1977.
Really?
2 years before you. So he was there. He started testimonies, and then you closed it. So young guys in between. Before I call upon Ambassador, I just would like to recognize amongst us, Jackie Wright, Chairperson of Digital Transformation Advisory Council in OPM, Madam. Thank you so much for gracing this occasion. Also is Chris Record from BSOJ. Is here? Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. It's really good that you are here. I think I'll just let you know that we have offered one ITEC course on digital public infrastructure. I think today was the last deadline, Madam. I think we're just waiting for nomination. And this is the first of its kind in the IIM, Indian Institute of Management Indore. Yes, I cannot send you. Please, but Ambassador, thank you so much for agreeing to join us this evening. You are a very busy person, but representing Foreign Office, and we're always comfortable that Foreign Office nurture us, support us in all that we do. And thank you so much. Please.
Good evening, everyone. I am very happy to join Your Excellency, Mr. Rumsun Masiki, High Commissioner for the Republic of India, and the team from the Indian High Commission, the many alumni spanning so many different years and decades of the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program, and all distinguished guests for this commemoration of the 2023 ITEC Day. I am also pleased to deliver these remarks on behalf of the Government of Jamaica. Please allow me, Excellency, to convey deepest regrets on behalf of Senator the Honorable Camilla Johnson-Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and Ambassador Sheila Seeley Monteith, Permanent Secretary and Head of the Jamaican Foreign Service. They had wished to join you here today, but alas, circumstances did not permit. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, as we have heard almost 60 years ago, on 15th September 1964, the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation ITEC program was created to assist to liberate the potential of developing nations. Born out of a vision of the Venerable Sri Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister, the ITEC program plays a central role in India's relationship with and leadership within the Global South. This is borne out in the genesis of the program as decided by the Indian Cabinet for technical and economic cooperation to be essential for the development of India's relations with developing countries. The continued success of the ITEC program also owes much to the philosophy of India and its current leadership, as was mentioned earlier by the High Commissioner, namely one Earth, one family, and one future, the theme of the recently successful G20 summit hosted by India. Ladies and gentlemen, as India continues through the ITEC program in building mutuality and in contributing to the social and economic well-being of partnership countries, it is to be commended for its efforts in doing so, even in the face of challenges. In this regard, last year, when the world was just emerging from the pandemic, Jamaica lauded India for pivoting with the times to providing online courses. Jamaica is happy to note the continued pivot of India to global realities as it accommodates to the real-world training needs of South and developing countries. Over the preceding year, Jamaica was able to benefit from Indian expertise in areas such as the Internet of Things, remote sensing, conducting household surveys, and electoral administration and integrity. This focus is in keeping with Jamaica's development trajectory. Our cohort this year joins the ranks of approximately 400 Jamaicans who have been the recipients of invaluable capacity building courses and training programs provided by Indian experts. We remain appreciative of these opportunities for the development of our people, and in so doing, our nation. We are also pleased that the Jamaican beneficiaries of the ITEC experience also join a wider network of 200,000 persons from approximately 160 countries across the globe who have participated in ITEC training. This is truly impressive, and all commendations to India. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the renewed opportunity to take part in these courses in person in India has reawakened one of the mainstays of the Jamaica-India relationship, namely that of people-to-people connections. Jamaica and India recently celebrated 61 years of diplomatic relations, but this is only a small part of the long-standing, inextricable bonds that were created since the first arrival of Indians to our shores in 1845. The ITEC program therefore solidifies exchanges that lead to the strengthening of connections, goodwill, and cooperation between Jamaica and India. As we listen to the testimonials from previous participants, we have clear evidence that these people-to-people contacts are being strengthened and there is ongoing cultural exchange. It is also apparent that Jamaica needs to take advantage of the multitude of other benefits which exist on the ITEC in terms of program offerings, areas of study, the possibilities for collaboration, provision of equipment, and the potential for services from India in consultancies and feasibility studies. Mr. High Commissioner, yours continues to be an active tour of duty in Jamaica. I reiterate deep satisfaction on behalf of the government of Jamaica that your representation has allowed the Jamaica-India relationship, already on a solid bedrock, to be further entrenched with advancement of issues of mutual interest. We further express that you and your team have been instrumental in maintaining this much valued relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I would urge all Jamaicans to seek to make the best of the offers and prospects that are provided for your self-actualization and improvement, such as those provided under the ITEC. And again, you would have heard of the many varied and different and beneficial experiences from all of the participants, which is just a small synopsis of everything that has taken place. And Excellency, since I have the floor, just to indicate that we did send out the course and we are waiting for persons to indicate their interest. I therefore again thank the Indian government for the opportunities afforded to Jamaica under the ITEC program and convey best wishes for its ongoing success. And even though I understand the actual day is 15 September, please accept very best wishes for a happy ITEC Day 2023. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. Thank you so much. We've just come to the close of our formal program. Before that, to top it all, I must say this, that for a parent, nothing is happier to hear other people say good things about my children, their children. As a head of mission here, nothing is happier than to hear people speaking good about my staff. I think of all the good things that you have said, or of all the good things that we have heard, said about India, your experiences, to top it all, the icing on the cake is your experience with my staff here in this mission. I think that's a credit that goes to all of you, the team, my team, a small team, robust, even if it is small, but it's robust, and I'm happy about that. Thank you so much. That brings us to the end of this formal program. I think we have, it's Wednesday night, but we are not doing anything after this. So the food is there, dinner is there, you have wine, you have drinks. That's okay, I think it's all been covered. I think let's not do it. That's overkill now. Yeah, but just enjoy the evening, relax, and we'll talk. And thank you for joining us this evening once again. Thank you very much.
Come. We have.
Excuse me, I need to speak to you about that. But before I want to talk to this young man,